You really don't have a $450,000 offer. You've got something more like a $436,000 offer. Well, the moment that we click active in MLS, basically the home is open to the public. It goes immediately to MLS, and it also goes out to all the national portals, sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com. It also goes to all the local brokerages. So it's going to thousands of websites. And the local brokerages, anybody that has access to MLS, it'll be on their website through the IDX data feed. So it's everywhere. Also, there's thousands of buyers who have gone into MLS or other websites and have saved searches. And those saved searches, if they match the criteria of the home, then they'll also get a notification that the home is listed and that it matches their search criteria. So that happens virtually immediately once we hit that go button. The next thing down the line that happens is agents are monitoring the hot sheets. They do that every day. So they're looking at the hot sheets and they're looking to see if it's a listing that'll match one of their pre-qualified buyers that they've got. So they're looking for things as well on a regular basis. First, really 1 to 4 days is a showing surge, or at least it should be if everything is correct, where all the buyers that are in the marketplace currently are going out to see this new listing. So that's most requests for showing is in that 1 to 4 days. And if we don't have a big surge of requests to see the property, then something's off and we need to address it. It could be the price, could be overall presentation of the property, it could be a number of things. So that happens pretty quickly. Second thing you're going to get is neighbors that are interested in the property because they see the for sale sign go up. So when we first list a property, we go around to the neighbors and we deliver flyers to the neighbors, letting them know the house is on the market, this is the price. Lots of neighbors have friends or relatives that would like to live in the community. So we let them know what's going on with the property. Open houses are a little different with Help You Sell Real Estate. With Help You Sell, we allow our sellers to do their own open house, which is unheard of in the real estate business. But the benefit to that is, well, a number of benefits. One is the buyers like talking to sellers directly without agents there because nobody knows the house as well as the seller does. So the seller knows all the little things they've done to the house to make it special, and they can talk to the buyers about that. Buyers who come out to open houses are typically unrepresented. So they're driving the neighborhood, they're out looking at homes. Buyers typically go online and they'll look at an area, they'll look at a community, and then on Saturday, Sunday, they'll go out and drive the area. So these buyers are on their own, they're out looking, they go in and look with our sellers. Now our sellers save a lot of money in commissions because these buyers aren't represented. If they work through Help You Sell, our sellers save that whole buyer side commission, which can be $12,000, $15,000 in savings, which helps the buyers as well because now the sellers have more negotiating room. It's a two-way win-win situation for both the buyers and the sellers. Those are some of the people that'll go through the open house. The others that annoy sellers sometime is just nosy neighbors. Okay, the neighbors all want to see the house. It's not necessarily a bad thing because, again, neighbors often have friends or relatives that want to live in the community. Once they look at the house, now you've got another marketing person out there potentially talking about your house to other people. So it's good to have neighbors come in. The other thing that is really good nowadays, you've got the post NAR settlement bargain hunters. Okay, so under the current new real estate rules, buyers, if they're going to work with an agent, they have to sign a formal buyer-broker agreement with that agent. Okay, and then they're tied to that agent. This is a loophole. Open houses are a loophole for those buyers. They can go out and look at the house and see what they might want to buy before they get tied up with an agent. Again, with our system of commissions, with Help You Sell, if that happens and they do it, they don't need to go out and get another agent. We can handle both sides of the transaction, and the seller's going to save thousands of dollars, which then maybe they can pass on some of that savings to the buyers. Open houses are great and definitely something that sellers should do, especially with Help You Sell, because of all the benefits of that. The other thing about open houses is that when we do an open house, when our seller schedules an open house, We post that in MLS, which is then syndicated out to all the big websites, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com. We're going to contact the seller and we're going to set up an appointment to go over the offer. Now, these days, everybody wants to do things via email. There's DocuSign, there's all these things that are out there now to make it supposedly easy. We like to meet with the seller to physically go over the contract in person, because if I just email them a contract, they're not going to know what they're looking at. So we meet them one-on-one, go over it, give them the net sheet, and we also might have a suggested counteroffer if we think a counteroffer is realistic. After we go through all of that, the seller is going to look at all of this and they're going to look at their bottom line. There's three things they're going to have a potentiality to do. One is accept the offer. So the offer gives them what they want to net and everything's fine. So they sign the offer, they accept it. The second is they could reject the offer. They could say, no, these people are out of their mind. They gave me a lowball offer. A lot of times the seller gets insulted if they get a lowball offer. We try to let them never reject an offer. We try to always have the last counteroffer in the mix. The third would be that they do a counteroffer. Counteroffer is what the seller would like to net. And again, there's a lot of moving pieces to it. We can do that in the price. We can do that in seller concessions. We can do that in anything else that the buyer may be asking for, which will raise the bottom line to the seller. So that's what happens behind the scenes. It's a little ping pong match there for a while where we're offer, counteroffers. Sometimes we have 3 or 4 counteroffers before we come to an agreement. But that's our specialty. Our specialty is getting to an agreement, negotiating something that works for everybody. For example, a seller may overlook the fact that the buyer is asking for 3% in closing cost concessions. That would be on, say, for example, a $450,000 house. That's over $13,000 in concessions. We really don't have a $450,000 offer. We've got something more like a $436,000 offer. Got to know that right off the bat, and a seller doesn't know where to see that or how to find that. It's something that they may overlook. The inspection period, it can be very stressful because the buyers are hiring people to come in and tear the house apart. You're going to have a general home inspector that goes from the roof to the slab and everything in between. And they're going to check out the roof. They're going to check out the electrical. They're going to put a grounding plug in every outlet to make sure they're all grounded. They're going to check out the HVAC system, make sure it's cooling or heating correctly. They're going to check out the plumbing, make sure there's no leaks under sinks or anything of that nature. It's a very detailed report, and the report can be 30, 40 pages long. And they're going to nitpick every little thing that they find because that's the way they keep themselves out of trouble. We try to pre-frame our buyers that they're looking for major problems. The buyers should be approached into understanding they're not going to ask for everything that's on that report. They're not going to ask for if there's a scratch on a wall that they want to paint the whole wall or the whole room or whatever. It's for major items, not cosmetic items. But some of the inspections that they're going to get is the general home inspector. They're going to get a termite inspection, make sure there's no wood destroying insects. They're going to get a roof inspection. The general inspector will look at the roof, but he's not a roofer, so they're probably going to get a roof inspection as well. They'll probably get a sewer scope inspection to make sure there's no roots or anything obstructing the sewer line. They'll probably also get maybe an HVAC inspection, depending on how old the HVAC system is. So these are all specialized inspections that buyers will get in most cases. There may be other specialized inspections. Could be lead-based paint inspection, could be asbestos, could be some other environmental issue that they want to get inspected if the general home inspector sees a condition that he thinks may warrant that additional inspection. So lots and lots of inspections.